export market identification. When we talk of exports, your market can only be outside the shores of Nigeria. So we need to know what geographical location we are targeting as our market. The size of the market, the scope of the market, the needs of that market, the regulatory standard we need to assess that market. What certifications do we need to assess that market? And then with all this, we will now target the market penetration. As a new entrant, you consider your primary target countries and your secondary target countries. What do I mean by this? If you go to countries like the US, United States of America, you find most Nigerian products on the shelves of, say, African stores. But by the time you take a closer look at the labels on those packaging, you would discover, surprisingly, that they are all from Ghana origin. Meaning, the Nigerian products are first and foremost finding their way to the Ghanaian market before now being exported to the US, which means the primary market here is the Ghanaian market, while the secondary market is the US market. I was only trying to explain what I mean by secondary and the primary markets. You need to maintain your focus by ensuring that the following are in place. The product or service that you have earmarked for export. You need to look for product or service that have the lowest possible risk. I will explain again. If you want to start export of agri products, say, and you go to start with a product like yam, tubers of yam, you'll be taking a big risk. Because one, the shelf life of containerized yam, if you put yam inside an enclosure, we all know that even in our different homes, it's difficult, it's challenging to store yams. If you put yam on the plain cemented floor, within 2 weeks, it goes bad. If you put yam inside an oven, an enclosed cupboard, within maybe 3 weeks, the yam would have cooked itself. So if you now want to do export of agri produce, you go and start with something like yam, you're taking a big risk. So we are being encouraged that we should look for soft landing products. I know most of us will now be wondering, what are these soft landing products? Put down your question. I'll give ample opportunity for us to ask questions. So during our question time, you can ask and then I'll respond. So you look in the area of low risk products. Then you need to find out who are the regulatory agency that I need to have their certification locally for me to go into this business. For the Nigerian situation, we have Nigerian Export Promotion Council as a regulatory body that regulates the business of exports in Nigeria. Then you need to also assess your capacity. What can I do? Do I have the needed personnel in place? Do I need additional hands? These additional hands could be family members. They could be your friends, or you may decide to outsource some of the execution process towards fulfilling your dream of becoming an exporter. And part of the processes you will need to go to will include procurement of the product you want to export, handling of the products, that is cleaning, grading, bagging, the logistics. When you talk about logistics, you talk about, haulage, transportation, then documentation at the seaport or airports, shipments, the contract proper, market penetration, as we are talking today, and the sourcing of the products. You need to check and itemize what resources you definitely need from outside your own company. As a new entrant, you won't start today and you're able to buy your own trailers to truck your goods from the port or point of purchase to the seaport. So you will need transport companies. You will need forwarding and clearing agents. You will need suppliers. Yes, some people tell me that they go to the farm to buy, but what quantity can you buy if you now have to go to the farm to buy? So if you're talking about bulk supplies, it is better you use agents, you use commodity merchants that can give you the quantities you need. I'm sure, again, some people will be wondering, where do we get them? Put down your question. I will attend to it during question and answer session. You need a good understanding of the product you have decided, you've made up your mind to go into. Talking about good understanding of the product, you find out what is the product classification and grading, like something like gum Arabic. There is gum Arabic grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. In between these grades also, you have Gogo Brawa, you have all sorts of grading. So you need to understand very well the classification of the product you're going into. You also talk about the structure. What seasons is this product I've decided to go into available? Almost all agric produce, irrigation farming notwithstanding, they are seasonal products. Then you look at the competition, possible competition you'll be facing by going into that particular product line. Then you need to sit back also and consider, when will I make good margin if I have to buy, say, January or December or September? So what is the best period for me to do the purchasing so that I can make a good margin? You need to consider also the market statistics, both historical and projected. What quantities can I buy within a given period of time? What can affect this supply or production pattern? I give you an example, something like ginger. If the price of ginger is very high in the international market this year, next year, there will be overproduction because the farmers will all move into their farms to go and crop, thinking they will get the same price they got this year, not knowing that it will now result in like a market glut for that commodity. So if you know what the supply pattern is, the production pattern is, it will help you in penetrating your market. Based on your findings and preparations as above stated, your next line of action will be to identify, evaluate, and select your market. This will also entail taking decisions on mode of transportation. This is my market that I've identified. If I have to send goods there, am I going to send it by road? Am I going to send it by sea? Am I going to send it by air? If you say Niger Republic is a market you have identified and you want to penetrate, of course, your mode of transportation is going to be by road. Reason being there's no direct flight between Nigeria and Niger Republic, and there's no direct sea freight between Nigeria and Niger Republic. So, but if, say, you have an order to export something like vegetable leaves or flowers, horticulture, to, say, London, Britain, you can air freight, because if it stays too long in the sea, you're going to lose the value. So you use the fastest means that will preserve your product in sending it to your target market. But if it's something that is not a perishable commodity that you're exporting to, say, the developed nations, China, or US, or Russia, you could do so, especially if it's a bulky item, then you need to do so by sea. It will be more cost effective, and you are not likely to lose the composition of that product by the time it gets to its destination. In penetrating your market, product selection and packaging are also needed. When you talk about packaging, different products are packaged differently. Some will be packaged using double propylene bags. Some will be packaged using sack bags. Some will go in badges. Badge is like, you know, that big bags that they put cement, not the 50 kg cement. There's this big bag. If you see construction companies that are mixing cement on site, there's these big bags that they put cement. Those ones are called badges. You also need to think about your pricing. In coming up with your pricing, you need to take certain costs into consideration, including your profits markup. If your cost is more than what the market is saying, later, as we progress in this series, we'll be talking about market segregation. The same products that you're selling may have a different price in China and a different price in the US markets and a different price in, say, Russia. So that market you're targeting to sell to, what is the price saying? What is the international price? Because most of these commodities have international prices. So by the time you finish your calculation, if your local price is far more than the international price, it means it doesn't make sense for you to now target that market. It's either you drop that line of products or you look for a market that can accommodate your costing. You are not a charity organization. You are in this business to make money, to fend for yourself, fend for family, and then attend to some other financial needs. So you can't afford to sell at a loss. Then in your calculation also, remember your percentage markup. Your percentage markup could be from 10% to anything, depending on your bargaining power and then what the international price is saying. And then depending also on the cost of your sourcing. If you can reduce costs say of transportation of handling, then whatever percentage you're able to garner for yourself is good for the business. But all in all, you can't afford to price yourself out of the market. So if what the market is dictating is that the highest margin you can make on that product line at that given point in time is, say, 15%, you cannot insist on 25%. If you insist on 25%, your target market will leave you, your target customer will leave you and patronize somebody else. So you will also look at the freight costs, whether it's by air, by road, or by sea. You add it to your pricing in determining your market penetration. In identifying your markets, if you have no preference for a particular geographical location, just like where most of us are entrants into this export market now, and you don't have any preference for any particular geographical location, you just want to penetrate the export market, you could use some or any or a combination of the following to reach and identify your market. Your own is just to hit the export market and do business. So it's not as if you have any preconceived notion that it must be America that I'm exporting to, or it must be Russia that I'm exporting to. Your own is to look for who needs your product and sell at a good price. In doing that, to penetrate this market, you can use brochures, you can use calendars, you can use flyers, personal contacts. Good thing, the internet is a global village now. You just key in Google, who does this, who buys this? Companies that are into that line of product will pop up, and then you know who to reach. You can also travel to meet your potential buyers. You can have a website and host your products online. A good thing, again, social media and online presence, it's something you can't do without in this age and time. You can use the social media to reach your target market, target customers, know who is buying what, sell to them. You can also do online marketing. You may wish to attend trade exhibitions and trade shows where this commodity, annually, there are trade exhibitions all over the world displaying different types of agric produce. For the US market, we have, it's called IFT, Institute of Food Technology. They are the organizers. They also have Supply Side West, they have Supply Side East. These are different trade shows, exhibitions that buyers meet sellers. In the European markets, they have what is called HIFI, health ingredients, food ingredients, because what we are selling is health ingredients, they are food ingredients. Something like ginger, it's a health ingredient. In this era of COVID, the price of ginger has skyrocketed. Even locally, it's almost drying up 2 months into the ginger season. Reason being that he said, I don't know, I'm not a native doctor, neither am I a medical doctor, but he said and believed that ginger is helping in the COVID fight. So all over the world, Nigerian ginger, which is hotter, is called its potency and its aroma, the oil content. So it's making Nigerian ginger the world over preferred brand. So even locally here, Ginger is becoming scarce when the export season is just starting. Then you can also do indirect marketing efforts by appointing an agent to help you penetrate a desired market, because they know abroad who buys what. But for you to use an agent, it means you will now need to pay agency fee to that agent, which is usually between 2% to 5%, depending on your ability to negotiate. So if you are now using an agent, you also need to factor the bill you will pay the agent into your pricing. So for you, then the implementation schedule, I've spoken a lot. I will need to give you time to ask your questions so that we can continue. But before then, the implementation schedule is that periodically you need to follow up on your work progress and plan. You need to also do periodic operational management review. Of course, you need to measure your results against the plan. It means maybe you say between now and 1 month, I plan to do so on this my new venture. So you need to measure what you are able to do, because if you don't measure, before you know it, the month is gone, the year is gone again. You're still hoping that you will become, or you are not taking serious steps towards becoming an exporter. So having said that, I will pause here and give room for question and answer, where we'll spend some time before I give the case study for the day. In concluding, nothing makes life sweeter than making people happy. The people you help today become your soldiers in the battle of life tomorrow. To invest in properties is good though, but to invest in people is far sweeter and better for humanity. To make money, you need to make people. Your greatest trophies are not the tears, are the tears you wipe away from people's faces, not the things you acquire. Your greatest achievement should be raising achievers. People will stand by you and honor you when they realize you value them. Don't let other people's ungratefulness stop you from making others great. So I stop here to take questions and answers before we go to our case study for today, and then call it a day. Thank you. Moderator.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Madam Adaku. You are very, very, in fact, you've really brightened our day today. As we speak right now, we have reached our maximum capacity. Just by the way, we've reached our maximum capacity. So we have to expand by going live on YouTube. So we are currently live on YouTube using the URL that you see on our the chat box. So I'm going to post it again, live YouTube channel. Okay. So you can share it with those that could not come in, because a lot of people, I can tell you over 100 people want to come in now, but they're not able to come in because of the maximum capacity rule. So they can stream live. They can hear us live as we talk right now. So for you to ask your question, please just raise your hand and we will call your name. We already have some hands up there. You know how to use the raising of hand tool? If you don't know how to use it, then leave your message on the message box. We'll read them out. Okay, we have Adewale Lanre. So unmute yourself, please. If you cannot unmute yourself, Honey Ndubisi. Okay. Adewale, try unmuting yourself now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, who is speaking, please?
Honeybell.
Hello.
Okay, good. Honeybell, go ahead. After that,
Hello?
Adewale.
Thank you. Thank you, Namdi. Thank you very much, Madam Ada. My question is, you know how difficult it is to get NAFDAC number in Nigeria? Do you need NAFDAC number if you want to do agro business, like if you want to transport goods abroad, export goods abroad?
Then we have Adewale, where are you? Please, can you unmute yourself and talk, please? Ask your question, Adewale. If Adewale cannot speak, then we have Atakwa. Atakwa can go ahead.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you, Her Royal Highness, for the great insightful for the great insights into the export business. My question is, we have several countries within Africa and beyond. And then, like she said, we need to know where our products might be needed. Now, how do you get started doing this? I mean, do you just Google? Yes, this is possible, but we just need to have a pinpoint way of getting it done. Yes, I agree, we need some hard work, but we'll appreciate something a little bit more pragmatic in that regard, please. Thank you.
Okay. I think we now have questions on the box. Thank you, Royal Majesty Adaku. I really enjoyed your lecture, even though I missed the first one. Please, can you give us ideas or list of items we can get from Nigeria and the various markets where such can be sold in international market? That is coming from Favor Jekpe. Then we have Akim Duola. Thank you, Ma, for the wonderful lecture. My question is, can you tell us example of lowest possible risk products? Francisca, also the same thing. Can you mention some low risk products for export? Mudin Olalekan, thank you, Ma. Your question, you mentioned that a product can sell at different prices at different countries. How can we have information about current price in different countries? Then finally, how can the new entrants be sure of exporting business considering the agents at the exporting end when we have scammers and fraudulent agents and business partners all over the world? Then Musa wants to record. Musa, please don't worry. We are going to share the recorded the link to the video later. Thank you. So those are all the questions for now. We want to thank you for your questions. Madam, over to you. Madam Adaku, over to you, please.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know I was muted also.
Okay.
I said I'll start with the last person that asked about scammers as agents. You know, for you to make a success of the export business, you must have a mentor, I would say. And that is what I'm offering to do, as many as are willing to latch on this opportunity. Even my own company, we got our fingers burnt at one point or the other. And in fact, this is what now made me develop the passion to ensure that whoever is interested in this business will not lose money. That money you can lose locally. That money you can lose internationally. There are crooks in Nigeria. There are crooks abroad. If you're unlucky to enter the net of a crook anywhere, either as a supplier, as a forwarder, or as a supposedly customer, you will get your fingers burnt. So for you to avoid this pitfall, you must have a mentor, a genuine mentor that will guide your feet, that will tell you to step here, don't step on this landmine, this is how to do it, this is where to go. Then Woodin asked about products selling at different prices in different countries. You know, in this age and time, some of us don't know the power of Google. There's hardly anything you can't Google. There's hardly anything you can't Google. In fact, I was surprised when I went to Mexico for an exhibition. I never knew I could even use Google to translate the local language into the English that I will understand. So if you Google some of these things, you will see it. What is the price of so and so? So it will tell you. And then when you now get such information, for you to, your mentor is like your clearinghouse. You now send it to your mentor, or this is what I found, this is what I found. Is it correct? How far am I from the truth? That is what I'll say on that one. Then Francisca requested to know or have an idea of some low-risk products. Having, like I stated earlier, having burnt our own fingers as an organization earlier in the business when we just started, we were just groping in dark, trying all sorts of things. Sometimes we succeeded, sometimes it was a big error. We lost money, we lost millions, but somewhere along the line, we now, through our own mistakes, now got it right. So if I'm mentoring you, I try to make sure to show you that these are the landmines. Don't go there as a starter, as a new entrant. Even till tomorrow, the bulk of our export products, they are low risk products. Low risk in the sense that you don't run the risk of the products deteriorating in transit. The handling to a large extent is what you can control: the temperature, the moisture content, the shelf life, until it gets to the buyer's warehouse. Some of these low risk products are things like dried split ginger. There are things like dried chili pepper. There are things like hibiscus flower, which we locally call zobo. You'll be surprised at the quantity of zobo the world over is consuming. Zobo, you know, just like we take it as a soft drink here, all over the world, they are drinking zobo as tea like desserts. After meal, they take zobo tea. They also use it in making drinks. They use it in pharmaceuticals and all sorts. So these are low-hanging fruits, I would say, in the exports business that you can latch in on. Start with those, and your risk level will be far, far reduced. Favor wanted to have list of items that can be exported and where they can be sold. From Francisca's answer, I've provided some of the list of the products. So now your own assignment is to find out where they can be sold. In the course of the lecture also, I've mentioned countries if you paid attention. Atakwa said that how do you get started doing export business? Atakwa, if you listened attentively, all we are here for is how to get started. And we're on lesson 2 of the series of how to get started and do export business. Our lesson 1 was living your passion. And for you to be in this class, it means for you to be in this class today, listening to me, it means you have that passion. There are 1 million things you could have done with your time this afternoon, this evening, but you decided to come and hear me out. It means you have the passion. And today we are doing lesson 2 of the series, which is market identification. So we're on the right track. By the time we get to lesson 5, 6, 7, 8, it's up to lesson 10. The series is up to 10. Our anchor person, Namde, it's up to 10. So when we reach 10, then those that scaled through, that have survived, that have been passing their assignments up till then, I will now expose them to practical experience, and we take it off from there. As many companies as are willing to now sign on, we mentor them in the real thing. So what we are doing for now is still paperwork, but pay attention. After lesson 10, we go on practicals. Then Honeybell wondered whether NAFDAC number is needed for you to export. Not really. Not really. If you are exporting processed manufactured goods, what you would need is the certification of that country. If you listen to me attentively, what you would need is the certification of that country where you are exporting the goods to. So you need to meet their certification requirements. NAFDAC is mainly, NAFDAC and SON certification is mainly for products being consumed locally in Nigeria. If you're exporting to a country like, say, America, of course, you must be registered with USDA, United States for Food and Agri. I think I've addressed all the questions, unless there are more. Thank you, Nnamdi.
Yes. Thank you. There's one more. The person is saying,
yau baka zo ba kenan mun zo haba Allah can ban da muke na
I'm
ciki
going to mute everyone.
ai ba sani ba ana zo na wuce kawai da daga nan gurin
Can you mute everybody, please? Mute everybody.
Yes, thank you so much, madam. The one more question. Somebody asked and said, what's the minimum capital they can start up with? Is there anything like minimum? Let me see. Sorry, please. Sorry. Good. So,
Okay.
so they said, is
I
there any minimum? Sorry, we did not hear you there. Said, is there any
Mhm.
minimum amount someone can start up with?
Yeah, just like in every business, even to eat food in a restaurant, you have minimum amount to pay now.
Yeah.
Meaning a plate of food costs so. So if you walk into a restaurant and you don't have that amount, you can't eat. In the same vein also, if you're targeting to, say, export a container load of, say, ginger, dry split ginger, or gum arabic, or chili pepper, or hibiscus flower, there's an amount that goes with it. But that shouldn't, some of these products are capital intensive, but we have funding agencies. We have funding agencies. CBN is given financial assistance to exporters. The banks are there to give you loans if you meet their conditions and all that. So that shouldn't deter you. That's what I would say. But then by the time we start getting towards the tail end of the mentoring, I will now be coming up with numbers in the sense that this so amount, we'll be doing calculation, we'll see it, we'll do projections. Then our assignments will be like, computations, so that also in costing your product, you can cost it right. Because sometimes, or not even sometimes, more often than not, your buyer will tell you, I want maybe 10 containers of ginger or hibiscus flower, or chili pepper shipped within a particular period. It could be 1 month, it could be 2 months, and then I ask you to quote. For you to come up with that quotation, you need to do your calculation and get it right, because some of them are capital intensive. So if you don't do your calculation right, you might end up leaving hole in your own pocket, which is not the intention. So towards, by the time we are done with half of the series, we will now be doing computations, calculations, and numbers. So you will have an idea of what it takes to do 1 container of this, to do half a container of this, and all that. Any more?
Thank you so much, madam. So, so again, this program was brought to you by Page Platform in conjunction with Her Royal Majesty Adaku, a fellow of the institute, currently a council member. She has been giving us, like you've heard from her, it's going to take up to 10 series. So I think after the today's event, I will find out from her when the next one will be, and we'll invite you all. We will also share with you the link to the WhatsApp platform, the WhatsApp platform created for this, because we have a WhatsApp platform with over 100 members already as we speak. So we'll soon get to the capacity maximum as well. So thank you so much for your time. For every question that you think.
Then for our case study, when you're done, I give the case study. Are we done?
Okay, good. So I think this time for case study. Thank you for that reminder.
Okay. Having listened attentively during today's lecture, here is our case study, which we're expected again to attend to and send in our responses or answers to the email that will be provided. Please don't post your answers to the general platform, so that we are all seen to be making efforts by ourselves instead of copying what others are saying. So if you don't get it right, then your own is to find out, why didn't I get it right? So the case study it goes like this. Listen, I bought 60 bags of dry chili pepper when the price was 1,000 per bag 6 months ago. And these goods were supplied by an agent in my warehouse at Kauranamuda. Well, as a shrewd businessman or woman, which I am, I have decided on these options. One, the local price is now 3,000 per bag. I want to sell off at 200% profit. Remember, I bought it at 1,000 per bag. Now, number one is that the local price has risen now to 3,000 naira per bag. And I want to sell it off at that will enable me make 200% profit. Two, I want to call the agent that supplied me the goods to carry and supply these goods to Mr. Yakubu, an exporter, at a price of 3,500 naira per bag. That is 250% profit. Three, I want to hire a truck and send these goods to Lagos to Mr. Yakasi, an exporter, and sell to him at 5,000 naira a bag, which he has offered. Four, I want to send the goods to Cotonou and hope to sell it there. Five, well, I want to leave my goods in the warehouse and ask for divine intervention. Which option above best addresses my passion? Justify. Thank you.
So thank you so much. That's the assignment for the day. We are going to still send this to everyone and on the WhatsApp platform too. We also provide you the response email afterwards. If you still have any question, please don't hesitate to send it in through that same email, which will be provided along with the email. So thank you so much. And I think we have done justice to this. This is a good time, 4:25 p.m.
Hello?
Hello, yes?
Please, how do I get added to the WhatsApp group?
Don't worry, we'll send you a mail. Since you lost that email that you used to register,
okay,
you receive the instructions to join.
Okay, then. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Host.
Thank you.
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Please, I came into the program late today. You gave us a case study for the first lecture, and we responded to it. Have you treated that aspect?
Yes, it was part of the first part of today's session. So you'll get it in the video when you receive the video.
Thank you very much.
So thank you so much for being orderly. We have come to the end of today's presentation. We'll get you the dates for the next series. We'll get it by email, and the invite will be sent to you as well. So please, don't keep the knowledge to yourself, share it with others so that together we can lift each other to the next, a realistic next level. So thank you so much. And thank you so much, Madam Adaku, Chidume-Okoro, FCA, for making out time from your very busy schedule to be with us today and sharing the knowledge. We appreciate it, and we look forward to the next 8 series.
Thank you.
And God bless you.
And God bless you too.
We appreciate you so much, madam.
Hello, are you calling it again?
Thank you so much, madam.
My hand is up. My hand is up.
Hello,
thank you.
Rosemary, what is your
We really appreciate your effort. More pleasure.
Can I say something?
Rosemary, okay, what's your question? Go ahead. Let me see.
Good evening, everyone. Please, I want to especially thank Her Royal Majesty. I'm Rosemary Amakwe by name. I'm so sorry to join in very late. Today is my child's this thing. In fact, I took her to school today, so that's why I'm coming very late. All the same, I want to appreciate everybody, and I pray that one of the days I will also be fully part of it. Once more, Her Royal Majesty, I salute you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we are good to go. Rosemary, greetings to your baby, and we'll call it a day. Thank you. And